Hi all and welcome to TCM. That's the Charts Maverick or the Charts channel. And if anybody wonders why we're seeing so much charts in our videos and daily presentation, that's because we are the Charts channel, and we're trying to present the price action in the markets and in individual stocks with a point of view of a day trader. So we are really focusing on the micro movements that happen intraday in stocks. Now, talking about the micro movements, sometimes the micro movements are not so small, and sorry, today we're going to discuss three mega movers that went under our radar in the last week. Let's start with yesterday's mega mover, LYRA. That's a biotech company. The name is LYRA Therapeutics, and the stock at one point was up 600%. And the reason, I'm just reading from Yahoo Finance, LYRA says phase 3 trial of nasal implant for chronic rhinosinusitis meets endpoint. Whatever that means, we are not in the business of what is the business here? Nasal implants for chronic whatever. So that's none of our business. Our business is the chart. But as you can see, and let me pinpoint a couple of issues that are fundamental. First of all, the biggest range bar, maybe not ever, I don't know what happened years ago, but this range bar is versus what happened in the stock in the last 6 months is outstanding. So the range goes from 0 cents per day to 25. So this is probably the biggest range per day of a stock yesterday, other than maybe $1,000 stock or $2,000 stocks or booking or whatever. So $25 range doesn't happen very often. Okay, in the pre-market it traded, I remember it in the pre-market it traded around 10, 14. Then it moved in the pre-market higher, and then it ran like crazy, then pulled back. So we'll analyze the intraday price action. Bottom line, we need to ask ourselves as day traders, can we day trade LYRA? What are the pitfalls of trading such a wild one? And again, when the stock is up 500, 300, it doesn't matter, 3-digit percent in one day, and the volume is up, I don't know how even to read this number. The volume was yesterday 26 million shares. On a normal day, before it was let's say 26 million, let's say 500,000. So the volume picked up also 10,000% or in that ballpark. Maybe only 5,000%. I didn't do the math. I can do the math or on the chat GPT. And that's not the issue. The issue is that you can see that the volume bar basically versus the rest of the volume bar looks like a giant in a kindergarten. So now let's get to the bottom line. How can we trade LYRA, assuming we're not trading the pre-market? The pre-market is actually way easier to day trade than the regular market, because in the pre-market the volumes are still sustainable. When the market opened yesterday, you can see the huge pickup in volume. That's the cutoff between the pre-market in white and the regular session after 9:30 in black. So you can see the huge pickup in volume between the pre-market and the 9:30 plus session. So what happened yesterday? I mean, you can see it on the chart. In the pre-market, a huge move higher starting from, I mean, it gapped up to, I don't know when it started trading, maybe at 650 at one point. So closed at 5 pretty much on Friday, gapped up early in the morning to around 660, and that was it. Basically, it started to move higher. It went from 660 to, in the pre-market, to 38. That was the high of the day. So the high of the day was in the pre-market. And there were actually great volumes during that period. And then the volume died out, picked up again in the regular session. And then you can see the price action during the regular session, which was totally neurotic. Some upside in the first 20 to 25 minutes, and then after reaching another high at what was the high of the day, 37.80, it dropped from 37.80 consistently and closed at 20. So basically it lost intraday half of its value, and still ended up with a huge winner on the day. Now again, if you look at the possibilities to day trade, and I'm ignoring the short side, being that this stock, as you can see, at least on my platform, it's not shortable. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the float here is very small. That's why we see those neurotic moves up and down. But I don't want to say 100%. I'm sure that most of the traders don't have access to shorts. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I'm testing just one platform here, but that's my take. So that's the decision here. It's trending lower. It carries a lot of spreads. The price action is crazy. If I'm looking very carefully at the chart for a long play, maybe I see one. If you guys take a look at the 23 reversal, during this small, let's call it consolidation reversal between 23 and 23.50. Again, I don't know what were the spreads here. The stock moved up at $3 and then died. So again, maybe there are some potential entries. They are very, very tough to get on board with. Again, not only because you need to follow up 100% of the time, and you will miss many times, and you have to enter. You cannot enter with the market order. You have to enter with the limit order, so you have to anticipate the trade very carefully. It's a tough job. So I have to say, trading LYRA intraday, especially when you don't have shorts, super tough. Now let's move to our second candidate for extreme volatility, and we talked about this stock last week a couple of times. Yesterday, SharpLink, SBET, that's the symbol. We covered this stock extensively over the last week. The stock went up, and you can see another nut in action. This stock went from 1,000% up from $10 or so close. I think it was Friday, a week ago. So it closed then Monday, a week ago. Was it, sorry, Tuesday, because we didn't have a Monday because of the Memorial Day. So it gapped up on news. The news were stock infusion of $450 million. Maybe I'm wrong with the number, but around $400 million, and trying to make this stock an Ethereum MSTR lookalike. So if you remember, guys, some of you remember MSTR and its leader and investor, Michael Saylor, that basically moved the business into the company into Bitcoin. So the idea is the same, to replicate his success and move the business, and there was no business in SBT. You can see the chart. Take a look at the chart. This chart shows basically no business for months in a row. Then they did a reverse split, but it was a complicated one. So when I said last week that the price went higher, it didn't. It was a mistake, but never mind. It didn't change anything. So the news were the catalyst for this unbelievable, another move that's unsustainable. So what happened here? Take a look at the move. Take a look at the volume. Pretty much the same thing. Amazing moves on amazing volume. Sorry, in a stock that is the same, has the same attributes as LYRA. Very small float. That makes getting on board with a position very hard. And when there's huge demand, the spreads open up, and all hell breaks loose, and it goes on both sides of the market, up and down. So in 2 days, basically, if Friday it touched 124, yesterday it was I don't know, lost 70% of its value. 124 to 45 is 2/3 of it. Yes, 60% of its value in 2 days at one point. Now it's trading at 54. Okay, let's look at the intraday price action yesterday. Again, starting strong in the morning, and then you can see this, let's call it relapse. I don't know how even to call it. So the stock goes from above 60 to at 1.45. That was the lows of the day. And then you can see the price action, very low volumes. You can see it jumps up and down, very little consistency until there is one. Okay, so if you watch for consistency, take a look at this 50 reversal, and you can guess that it's a round number entry. So this is 50, and this is the reversal that took the stock to 55 in the last hour of trading. So can you trade this stock? Yes, there was one opportunity. When I say trade, I mean take 5 to 10% move, because the risk on this trade is not 0.5%, not 20 cents. The risk on this trade is $4, $3 in that ballpark, meaning percentage-wise anywhere between 5 and 10%. 5% is $2.50. 10% is $5. It's very unclear where the stop loss is if things go wrong. I would say at least from 50 to 47.50 maybe. So you need to risk $5. You need to risk 10% on this trade. So if you risk 10%, what can you do? Sorry, 47.50 is 5%. My mistake. So from 50 to 47.50, that's $2.50, and you got $5 to the upside. Okay. Good risk, okay, risk reward, but still, you need to risk a lot. I mean, how many traders trade intraday trades with a risk of 5%? That's, to me, it sounds suicidal. I wanted to talk about another stock, RRGB. We'll do it in another time, because I want to keep my videos up to 15 minutes or a top of 15 minutes. I thought it's gonna get I will get the job done earlier, so it's 14 minutes and 20 seconds. Thanks a lot for being with us. I hope it was illuminating. If not, please leave a comment, and we'll see you in our next video. Please subscribe and like us. Thank you. See you later.